I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
Hold on to your seats. The intensity of this story is about to increase. We are in the midst of a significant legal battle. You won't want to miss a single detail, I assure you. A $100 million defamation lawsuit is being filed against The Views, hosts by Melania Trump, the former First Lady of the United States. Yes, you read correctly. $100 million. People are already talking about this battle, which has the potential to upend the media and entertainment sectors. What precisely is happening here, then? Let's dissect it individually. First things first. Melania Trump is suing The View's hosts for making extremely offensive remarks about her in a recent episode. And by explosive, I mean that they've truly touched a raw nerve. This is not your typical feud between celebrities. We are discussing a well-known legal dispute that may have long-term effects on how public figures are covered by the media. Melania, too. She isn't being reserved. Let's now discuss the specifics of the remarks that set off this entire incident. The host's thoughts on Melania's tenure as First Lady were, to put it mildly, unflattering during a discussion on The View. Some of their comments were actually extremely contentious, if not inflammatory. For instance, one host implied that Melania wasn't particularly excited about her position in the White House. It was implied that she wasn't content with her marriage to Donald Trump and didn't want to be First Lady in the first place. Those are some very audacious statements regarding someone's private life.
Critics are going hard after a liberal media member for vile comments about Melania Trump. The former First Lady appears to signal her support for reproductive rights in a video out yesterday.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
And this take is pretty shocking.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just ignorant.
It wasn't as bad as that, though. The discussion swiftly descended into a barrage of criticism directed at Melania's individual decisions and behavior during her time in the White House. They closely examined everything, including her views on Christmas customs and how she redecorated the White House. Melania was portrayed as someone who was bitter and dissatisfied with the demands made of her by one host, who even implied that she didn't want to play the part. Melania was not pleased by these remarks, as you can imagine.
Because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View.
And I
look,
agree.
The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it that way?
The thing is this. Melania is renowned for being extremely private, particularly when contrasted with other public personalities. She was apparently incensed when these personal attacks were made, and she acted quickly after. Melania sued the hosts of The View for defamation, saying that their remarks were not only untrue, but also gravely hurt her reputation. Now, this is more than a publicity stunt or a matter of hurt feelings. This is to safeguard her reputation and make sure that damaging and untrue stories about her don't proliferate unchecked. To be clear, this lawsuit is not something that happens very often. Public personalities frequently respond to media criticism more passively, particularly those in Melania's shoes. Many decide to ignore the controversy or make succinct statements. But by bringing this lawsuit, Melania isn't going to back down. She's making it clear that she won't stand by and allow lies about her character to continue. She is making a significant effort to fight for accountability.
These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what the Views audience loves. It is targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now. This is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tensions. The former president says he thinks his wife should be allowed to think for herself.
But why is this important? What makes this lawsuit so crucial? There's more to this case than just a celebrity feud, people. It has to do with a much bigger problem. When it comes to public figures, what can and cannot be said? Important issues. Regarding the limits of free speech, media accountability, and reputation protection are brought up by this lawsuit. The way media outlets like talk shows handle personal matters about the people they cover could be greatly impacted by Melania's legal battle, which could also set a precedent for how future defamation cases involving public figures are handled. Consider it. The way media outlets handle contentious or speculative stories about politicians, celebrities, and their families may change if Melania prevails in this case. Shows like The View and other prominent outlets may undergo a significant rethinking of what constitutes appropriate content. This might make people more circumspect when talking about the personal lives of public figures. On the other hand, it might also lead to discussions about the possible suppression of free speech, particularly when it comes to talking about the lives of public figures. This is where it becomes even more fascinating. The timing of this lawsuit. Donald Trump is making headlines for entirely different reasons at the same time that Melania files her lawsuit. Some people have already begun to speculate that Melania may be acting strategically with this legal action. Given everything that is happening in the political arena, could this lawsuit be a calculated attempt to refocus the media's attention on her? After all, the news is dominated by Donald Trump's legal disputes and controversies. Could Melania's lawsuit, then, be a component of a larger plan to reestablish her media presence? Though it's certainly something to consider, let's first discuss the remarks that ultimately led Melania to file a lawsuit.
Allegedly, he was cheating while Melania was pregnant.
That's not going to come in front of the jury, though. The judge has ruled that won't come up.
We're on television now. And then after Melania gave birth to the baby, he found Stormy to strip around with, right?
Yeah.
It's like people should look at him and say, you know, what kind of an insecure jerk are you? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my wife's pregnant, I'm not attracted to her big belly or something, and now she's paying attention to the baby and not me.
The host's assertion that Melania despises her husband was among the most shocking and had given up on living with him. It was one of those times when you had to go back and make sure you heard it correctly. It's hard to believe that these kinds of remarks are not only extremely hurtful for many viewers, but they are also extremely personal. Many people shook their heads at the outrageousness of these remarks. It's one of those situations where it's very difficult to distinguish between damaging gossip and opinion. In all of this, Melania's swift decision to file a lawsuit has been especially unexpected. Prominent people frequently don't respond as quickly. Many would have just let it go or released a statement. But that's not the game Melania is playing. She is putting everything on the line and going to court. And it's obvious she means business because $100 million is on the table. This is not merely a publicity stunt, it is a serious legal battle. Melania's message is very clear. These remarks have far-reaching effects that go well beyond a small media dispute. Long-term protection of her public and personal reputation is the goal here.
Now you know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. But apparently, his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
For the rest of us, what does this mean? The relationship between the media, public figures, and individual privacy may be called into question by this case. Do politicians and celebrities have to put up with some degree of public scrutiny as part of their position, or can they expect complete privacy? Where does the distinction between defamation and free speech lie? Media law may change as a result of this case, and analysts already anticipate that the decision will have repercussions for the entertainment sector as a whole. If Melania prevails, it might alter the way the media covers the private lives of well-known individuals, including politicians, celebrities, and even their relatives. Naturally, some people are already criticizing the case. Melania is defending her reputation and drawing a much-needed line in the sand, according to some, while others think she is just using the situation for publicity. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle of what the media considers acceptable. However, there is no doubt that this lawsuit is drawing attention to the complex relationship between media responsibility, personal privacy, and celebrity. Everyone will be watching Melania and the case as it progresses through the courts to see how the legal system handles her allegations. This is about establishing a new norm for how the media can cover public figures, not just about the money. The way talk shows, news organizations, and entertainment programs cover contentious topics involving politicians and celebrities may drastically change if Melania prevails. We will keep you updated at every stage of the drama, which is just getting started. What do you think then? Is Melania's lawsuit justified, or might this create a risky precedent for media freedom? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Please remember to hit the subscribe button so you can receive updates on all the latest developments. We would love to hear from you. There will be a lot of discussion about this story, and we'll be here to keep you informed of all the developments. Thank you for viewing, and continue to be involved as usual. Keep checking back for more breaking news on Melania, The View, and other topics. We'll see you right here next time. This is an incredible story. Be careful, everyone.